MEP Evin Incir is with us. Thanks for joining us, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So basically, the Turkey's invasion attacks still continues to Kurdistan and Rojava region as well. And still, we can see the European Parliament giving some reaction, some voices has been raised, especially the yesterday's Pali. But still, there is no reaction or realistic action against Turkey, specifically on the talking about ceasefire as well as no-fly zone. So how would you like to evaluate first of all the Turkey's invasion attacks and the not enough reaction from the European Parliament?
I mean, first of all, I was actually one of those who demanded this debate here in the Parliament. I wanted to have it actually the last plenary session when the whole Parliament gathered, but unfortunately we were not able to have the debate then, but we are having it here and now, and it's very important. It's important that the European Union continue standing tall in defense of international law, because what is right now happening, the Turkey's actions and the bombs raining over Rojava region and the Kurdistan region of Iraq is a total violation of international law, and there is no space and there is no time for silence. So I'm very much ashamed of the silence from the side of the Commission and the Member States, but I'm glad that the European Parliament is taking leadership.
Exactly. Isn't it also a double standard about the OPCWs that doesn't go to make the investigations about the chemical weapon usages as well? Because last 8 months the Turkish army using heavily chemical weapons and biological weapons as well. And isn't this double standard? Because the Europe and Western powers as well as the European commissions, institutions, when it comes to the democracy and human rights, they sell themselves very perfectly. But when it comes to the Kurds, we cannot see any reaction. So how would you like to comment on that shortly?
I would say that the reaction for now has been absent, and it's unacceptable. That's also why me and some other colleagues demanded the debate here in the Parliament to put pressure on the EU Commission and on the 27 member states, the Council, and we will not be accepting any kind of continuation of the silence. And of course, there needs to be a thorough investigation on what, first of all, end the bombings and the aggression against the Kurds. But then also look into what kind of weapons have been used. I was myself, of course, in a different part of Kurdistan several times, but 2019 I was in Bashur in the KRG, Kurdistan region of Iraq, where I met Mohammed, who was 12 years old back then already, who was hit by what everybody understood was white phosphor. And Turkey has shown to repeat the pattern, and the history is repeating itself because of the absence and lack of actions from the side of the international community. No country is above any law, and that includes any international law. Every country needs to be accountable. That includes Turkey.
That's an important question. Would love to ask you that as well. Turkey and Erdogan still continues to threaten the Greece. The invasion of the Cyprus still continues, as well as the Erdogan is treating the Europe with the refugees, which is very inhumane. It's like treating a human is like is something done by without any emotions. We can clearly see that. But do you think the Europe is not powerful enough to give any answer that treats, or do you think the Europe is weak against Erdogan, which is third world country, some regime? How would you like to talk about that?
I would say that if all the 27 member states in the European Union were acting together forcefully, then I have a very firm belief that we will not see this bombing. Unfortunately, for now, Erdogan thinks that he can continue repeating the history. And the next year, for the elections in Turkey, there is an opportunity to ensure that there is a change in the country, and hopefully a new leadership in Turkey that could put Turkey in a better path, a path that respects international law, that and commits to the international agreements that it has itself signed up to. So I would like to see very clearly a European Union that acts forcefully together to end the human rights violation and the violations against international law.
I'm really sorry. I would love to give you 10 seconds more, please, about the sanctions. While this Turkey's invasion attacks continues, what would be the best sanctions and the process of the sanctions? Very shortly, very briefly, do you think the arms trade should stop Turkey and no-fly zone? First of all, how would you like to say all about this? Very shortly.
I think, for example, I myself actually raised the no-fly zone yesterday in the parliament. I think that's one of the most important, and we cannot, or we need to, I should say, look into what kind of arms is Turkey using. Does it include European arms also? That's non-acceptable that our weapons could be used against actually those that are fighting our freedom in Middle East, because we know that without the struggle of PYD, YPG, YPJ, the Rojava administration and all other actors in the Rojava administration, we would have seen ISIS terrorists in our streets in the European Union. So it is important for our own security in the European Union to defend those who are actually defending us.
The MEP Evin Incir, thanks for joining us. Thank you for your valuable comments today.
Thank you.